I first started um, my internet life on Blog Talk Radio, and I actually had a no white guilt show. And a lot of the stuff I got, from personal experience, but also from the internet. And I thought, man, I had a lot of these uh, toxic militants, and the toxicity of the left hadn't been in full range yet as they are today, particularly among whites or people of European descent. Um, and I thought that, hey, these people can't challenge my ideas. They're so good. And then a person by the name of, well, he never gave his real name. I think I found out, like, maybe perhaps who he really was, because he kind of hid the fact of who he was. But a person, he called himself Mr. Solution. And he, I was always polite, letting people talk, and I thought he would allow me to talk, and he would allow me to explain myself fully. That none of that happened. He would interrupt me, and he would he would ask me questions that I couldn't necessarily answer. I mean, I wanted to continue talking, but he would just, like, he would be like a lawyer, and I was on stand, and he played that game with me for like months, and I was like, man, this guy really hurts me. And then I kind of realized, basically, I have to kind of humble myself, and I also had to realize that this Stoic thing of just being polite and allowing a person to talk over you and stuff doesn't necessarily work. Now he would make me really angry, but then I kind of realized, you know what? Uh, I'm not going to get angry, but I'm going to defend myself, and I'm not going to let a person just abuse me and talk over me. And I don't know what happened to him for the life of me. He's kind of left the internet, but I think he changed some of his views too, by the way, because he would go on to black militant shows, and man, they really would ream him, because he was somewhat conservative, but he didn't like some of the things that I would say. And man, unfortunately, some of my views have changed a little bit, but there is there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of things you basically can't. I guess we can't discuss today, but there seems to be quite a bit of hypocrisy out there, you know. Um, and I'll go back to Sasha Johnson, who is complaining about, the oppressor and this and that, and people that truly, like, are under oppression. They're not in a country that they can discuss that openly and be vicious about. What they do is they try to flee, and they are on Amnesty International. They're doing things with Amnesty International and certain help refugee groups to get out of the situation that they're in. They cannot sit there and tell how evil and this and that, and that you want revenge. You can't do those things if you are truly oppressed. You can't say any of those things. The thing that people do when you're really oppressed, and these are people who've had family members murdered and killed, they flee. They don't say, they just murdered my They just murdered my brother. They just murdered my sister. They go, man, I got to get out of here. These people are murdering me. If you're really being murdered and they're out murdering you, you get out of there. And, look, to me, a lot of these people are fake. You want to know the people that flee? Look at white flight. And they don't, the people that flee don't say like how bad it is because, of course, the establishment um, is against you. If you describe, if you're a person who's white or, I would say of European descent or largely European descent, if you discuss your grievances, you could be canceled. And cancel culture doesn't give you due process. They don't want to hear from you. So they can defame you. They can defame your society. And, if you do have a platform, they will make sure that that platform doesn't get that many views. I mean, it used to be YouTube, you could go on, and if you were talented, you could rise above the ranks. And I'm not, the truth is, the algorithms aren't good, and I could suck. I could not be as, there are people out there that probably are far superior and better than I am. And that may be the truth too. I suspect, though, the algorithms, they've changed that drastically. I used to be able to search things on YouTube and on Google. Not anymore. And it's all because of this thing called hate speech. It's considered heresy, but only one group is charged with hate speech. Only one group can be stigmatized as being a racist. So again, you're not really given equal protection when you're not, when you're unequally demonized. And if you try to speak out against it, well, you're going to be punished. They'll make an example out of you a lot of times if you try to speak out. Again, not the worst, but one of the worst things that they could do to you is economically blacklist you, keep you from working, and also, keep you from enjoying any of the economic benefits of this new society. And they go, well, it used to happen the other way around. I mean, is that just? Would you want it done to you? And sometimes you're so poor you can't escape. But a lot of people do. And of course, again, there are a lot of hypocrites out there, and there are a lot of gaslighters. And hypocrisy and gaslighting are what abusers do. And of course, someone that's abusive wants to play the victim. And if you call them out, they don't want to have a discussion with you. They want you to bend the knee. And they want you to do as you are told. And it's certainly gotten worse over the years. I remember when I first came on to social media, and I could look up anything, and I could decide for myself what was appropriate or inappropriate. Information was out there. People's opinions were out there. And I guess today, people's opinions are considered dangerous. Of course, we had Charlottesville, and I guess we had the Capitol riot. Some call it an insurrection. But they were already heavily into censorship before that. But months of riots. And these months of riots, some would say, were helped by the internet because a lot of these groups, BLM and Antifa, social media helped promote them. And a lot of these people are in favor, so any complaints about them can get you, less looked at. And they don't want to. They don't want to have a discussion with you. They want to have a lecture, and they want you to agree. Is that really a free society? Because of course January 6th did happen, but people will say, well, but the riots were not as bad. I mean, the riots weren't. They say the riots weren't as bad. Can we have a comparative analysis? The January 6th, what happened on January 6th, and the riots, the George Floyd riots that happened across the country. I guess the Capitol, there was some vandalism with the Capitol, but was there not businesses burned down and people physically harmed and hurt for protecting their businesses? And I mentioned this again, there was a guy who defended himself after being put in a headlock and punched in the head. He was being punched in the head, and he shot the man through the left clavicle. The district attorney, this was in Nebraska, the district attorney did not want to prosecute, but a mob came to his house, and then he changed his tune for the mob. There's a politician that is on there now. She's kind of a Nurse Ratched. The man ended up committing suicide because, of course, he was being economically bankrupt by this court case, and he couldn't do any GoFundMes. But all these rioters, they get GoFundMes. So again, is a GoFundMe? Are they helping out the riots and the rioters? While people who defend themselves get nothing, don't get access to it? Is that really fair? Is this a just and noble society? Are they making it? Are these social media companies really making a just and noble society? I don't think so. But again, I could be wrong. You tell me. You tell me. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.